with coverage you can count on. This is Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
That subject was highly intoxicated.
Mic check 1 2 3. Mic check 1 2 1.
1 2 3 1 2 3. Hello, hello. 1 2 3.
With coverage you can count on, this is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 11 in HD.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Cameron Taylor. Thank you for joining us tonight. We begin with a developing story out of Louisiana. The New Orleans Police Department is investigating a crash tonight where a vehicle ran into a crowd of people at a Mardi Gras celebration, leaving 28 injured. New Orleans police says the crash happened just before 7 o'clock during a parade in mid-city New Orleans. Authorities say a pickup truck rammed through a crowd, hit two vehicles, and then crashed into a dump truck. 21 people were taken to hospitals in the area, including 5 to the trauma center. The New Orleans superintendent of police said one person is in custody.
We suspect that subject was highly intoxicated. He is in custody. He is being investigated right now and is at our DWI office. And so we send a strong message about not drinking and driving, about making smart decisions.
Now, the mayor encouraged citizens to be respectful during this Mardi Gras season. We'll have more on this story tomorrow morning on Eyewitness News Weekend Today. Well, here in Hamilton County, the Signal Mountain community continues to look into whether they should form their own school district. A committee consisting of former community leaders, parents, and business owners presented their findings this afternoon. They say it appears Signal Mountain could create their own school district, and it would be financially feasible. They mentioned students from Walden and unincorporated parts of Hamilton County would need to be included in the new school district. Now, the group also found it would lead to better student outcomes based on academic research. One parent on the committee says the move would help the entire county.
People care about the quality of the schools, and that Hamilton County is really failing their students today. And I think And so it's not just about Signal Mountain, it's the entire county that I think it'll help all schools.
The committee says more work needs to be done to see if it's ultimately feasible to create a Signal Mountain school district. The Red Bank community is also considering the idea. Well, Cleveland welcomed home one of its young heroes today. Family, friends, and community leaders cheered First Lieutenant Kaylee Radzyminski at a reception at American Legion Post 81. Now, Lieutenant Radzyminski is visiting Cleveland after serving in Afghanistan and Iraq. She's a graduate of Cleveland High School, where she started an organization called Tunes for the Troops. She's also a Tennessee Tech ROTC graduate, where she was commissioned as a second lieutenant in the U.S. Army. She says she's reached these goals with help and support of her family and community.
I could not do it alone. My mom and I could not do it alone. It's been the people around us supporting me, believing in me, and that just goes to show that if you have a goal and you have the support system around you, you can achieve anything that you set your mind to.
Kaylee returns to Fort Campbell tomorrow, and in May she'll be promoted to captain, then sent to Arizona for 6 months of school before being sent to an undisclosed location. Well, almost 4 months after tornadoes ripped through parts of the Tennessee Valley, Sequatchie County is still recovering from the aftermath of the storms. And Channel 3's Tanisha Cordell spoke with organizers who are helping clean up the damage for good.
About 100 volunteers filled trash bags with debris from November's tornado. They also cut down and removed a cluster of trees.
When you look at all the devastation, it could have been so much worse, but when you've got this many trees down, it's going to take a long, long time.
One farmer's livestock had to be fenced up to keep them away from the 3-month-old debris. Trees and limbs blocking this creek have been an issue for them as well.
And with the creek being blocked, this is how the cows get their water. And if we don't clear that creek, it could create some major problems for him as time goes on and as spring rains come around.
The South End Volunteer Fire Chief and his crew also took part in the widespread cleanup.
We got several military trucks that we use for brush trucks. And some of our members has bobcats and stuff, so we brought them out, and we're going to use that to get it out of the creek.
The community has worked to return to normalcy for months. More than 20 homes and acres of property were damaged by the storms, but it wasn't enough to get any federal assistance.
The way I understand it is agriculture is counted separately from residential. And as bad as it is, and it's horrible for us, and it's horrible for a lot of other counties too, unfortunately it wasn't enough.
Though there won't be any free government aid, volunteers are sticking to their promise of doing whatever they can to help rebuild.
People are going to get taken care of. It may take time, but you know what? That's fine. We're going to get there. We're going to get it done.
And that was Tanisha Cordell reporting for us tonight. Now, the county will have more cleanup days soon. In the meantime, McMinn County is looking for volunteers for their cleanup day on March 4th. We have more information about volunteering on our website, WRCBTV.com. Well, Chattanooga police are investigating 2 shootings that happened within the past 24 hours. The latest happened this morning on East 8th Street near UTC just after 11. Chattanooga police found a man with a small cut to the back of his head. He told police an acquaintance pulled out a pistol to show him, and the gun went off accidentally, grazing the back of his head. Surveillance video did back up that story, according to police. He was taken to the hospital for treatment and released a short time later. Now, it's unclear if any charges are pending. The other shooting happened last night before midnight. Chattanooga police say a man showed up to the hospital with a gunshot wound. He told police he was shot near North Chamberlain Avenue. He's expected to be okay from the shooting, and right now police aren't sure who shot him. If you have any information, call Chattanooga Police. The 2 men accused of shooting a 15-year-old high school football player in Knoxville will not face the death penalty. Prosecutors will not seek the death penalty or life without parole for Richard Williams and Christopher Bassett in the death of Xavion Dobson. Now, Dobson, a Fulton High School football player, died in December of 2015 while shielding his friends from gunfire. Authorities say he was not the target. Xavion became a national symbol of senseless gun violence. Williams and Bassett face first-degree murder charges in the case. They're set for trial this summer. And it has certainly gotten cold here in the Tennessee Valley. Storm Alert meteorologist Nick Austin standing by for what we can expect tomorrow. Nick.
Hey Cameron, a beautiful shot from our live downtown Holiday Inn camera. Nice shot of the city. We do have clear skies and Yeah, it's going to get cold tonight. That's right. Now, we haven't had a lot of cold days or nights this winter. And a matter of fact, yesterday we almost hit 80 degrees. Today was much cooler. We'll see a cold night tonight. And it's been about a week or so since we've been down to freezing here in the city. And I expect that to happen tonight. It'll be a nice day tomorrow, though, once we get past that cold start. And we'll see some rain coming back next week, maybe some thunderstorms too. Right now, temperatures in the low 40s from Knoxville here into the city, mid 40s down in Atlanta, but it's in the 30s from Nashville over to Memphis and along the Ohio River Valley. We have several areas with temperatures below freezing at this point. And we have some of that going on here in our neck of the woods too. 31 in Altamont right now, that's the cold spot. 42 here in the city, it's 37 down in Dalton, 39 in Cleveland at this hour, and it's 38 out at the Murphy Andrews Airport. Here in the city, north winds at about 11 miles an hour, but the winds will continue to back off and get lighter through the course of the night. We had a beautiful afternoon. It's been a great evening so far too. We've had nothing but clear skies, and it'll stay that way through the rest of the night. Big center of a ridge of high pressure is going to be moving over the Tennessee Valley tonight, and it continues to push that cold front that caused the storms last night off the East Coast. Stormy weather earlier today in parts of the Northeast because of that system, but we just have the drier and the colder air moving in. So as that high pressure center moves right over us during the course of the night, the winds will get even lighter, the skies stay clear, and temperatures will fall even faster later tonight. And we'll see a lot of sunshine tomorrow, though. You'll just have to really bundle up as you head out to church tomorrow morning. It won't be windy, it'll just be really cold. We haven't been used to it much this winter, so it's going to feel a lot different than the past few days. We'll see some clouds drifting in during the nighttime tomorrow night, and then we'll see some rain showers possibly on Monday. And Vipercast has a lot of it staying south of the city, but generally we'll just see some scattered showers developing Monday with higher chances towards midweek. But earlier tonight, or during the overnight hours rather, before sunrise, we had those storms, and it only dropped about 0.15 of an inch of rain at the airport. We had more than that in many other spots. 69 was the high before sunrise, and 51 was the low. But the lowest for the whole day is where we stand right now at about 42. 4/10 for Scottsboro today. Lafayette, Georgia picked up 0.4 of an inch of rain, and so did Fort Mountain, but other spots across North Georgia only had about 1/10. 3/10 in Red Bank today, 3/10 up in Cleveland at the Jetport, 6/10 up in Dunlap, about 1/2 inch down in Ringgold. The big winner on rainfall was our Skywatcher Danny up in Colmont. He had 1 inch of rain from those storms. It was coming down real heavy for a while. 3/10 out in Turtletown and about 2/10 for Dayton. So for tonight, 31 for the low late in the city. It's going to keep cooling and cooling and cooling, and it's going to be one of our coldest nights in a while. And for at least in the city, we could see areas of light frost, especially on elevated surfaces. But further away from the city you go, we could see much heavier frost and maybe even a hard freeze where temperatures will be in the 20s. Up to 57 by tomorrow afternoon by about 4 o'clock or so. So it's going to be a pretty good warm up, lots of sunshine tomorrow. And then 40 degrees tomorrow night for the low with some clouds moving in, so it won't be quite as cold tomorrow night. For your 7-day forecast, we'll be in the 50s again on Monday as some scattered showers develop. You'll need to definitely keep an umbrella handy for the first part of next week. And then it'll warm up in the upper 60s, near 70 for Tuesday and Wednesday. Mardi Gras is on Tuesday. We could see some off and on rain Tuesday and Wednesday with thunderstorms. So keep that in mind if you're planning on celebrating Fat Tuesday. And it'll get cooler and drier again later in the week. But the big story this weekend is just going to be all the freezing temperatures as you're stepping out the door tomorrow morning, possibly go to church if you're heading to early services. So just need to bundle up.
Yeah, you do. And then prepare for that rain for Monday and Tuesday, possibly. Yeah. So, okay. All right. Thanks, Nick.
You bet.
Well, an aged Jeep Wagoner was pulled from underneath a Cape Cod sand dune yesterday after it sat buried there for roughly 40 years. The vehicle had been parked in a wooden shed decades ago along Boston Beach in Massachusetts. Now, over time, rolling ocean tides and high winds buried the Jeep with sand. The family managed to get the Jeep out in pieces and even collect a few souvenirs from the vehicle. Pretty neat stuff right there. Well, up next on Eyewitness News at 11. A doubleheader on the hardwood for the Mocs and Lady Mocs' last home game of the regular season. And sports reporter Jill Jelnick will have the highlights.
You can count on. This is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 11 in HD.
After 2 ballots in Atlanta,
Welcome back. Democrats are still reeling from big losses in the November election. They have picked a new leader for their party, and NBC's Chris Pallone reports.
Mr. Tom Perez.
After 2 ballots in Atlanta, members of the Democratic National Committee chose a former Obama cabinet member as their new party chair. He's former Labor Secretary Tom Perez, a favorite of the party establishment. He beat Minnesota Congressman Keith Ellison, backed by the party's more liberal faction, by 35 votes. Immediately, Perez moved to unite the party, naming Ellison deputy chair. Ellison quickly embraced the unity message.
If you're wearing a Keith t-shirt or any t-shirt, I am asking you to give everything you got to support Chairman Perez.
Perez has a tall task ahead, replenishing the party's dwindling cash supply and trying to elect Democrats to governor's offices, state legislatures, and Congress.
We need to make house calls. We need to listen to people. We need to get back to basics.
If Perez has any advantage, it's that the young presidency of Donald Trump has energized large groups of opposition.
I know we can win the battles ahead. I know we will win the battles ahead when we put our values forward, when we lead together.
So now more than ever, we need to stay engaged in the field and online.
The collapse of Hillary Clinton's campaign still looms over the Democrats, but with their former presidential nominee pledging her continued support in a social media video, Democrats in Atlanta say they see better days ahead for the party. Chris Pallone, NBC News.
Now, the vote took 2 ballots, and Perez is a former Obama cabinet member. President Donald Trump will not be attending the annual White House Correspondents' Dinner this year. President Trump made the announcement today on Twitter. He also wished everyone well and wrote, "Have a great evening." Mr. Trump's relationship with the press has been rocky as he's criticized the media and called some journalists the enemy of the people. Now, the dinner will be held on April 29th in Washington. Coming up next in sports, the UTC men's basketball team falls at home for the 2nd game in a row. Hear what head coach Matt McCall had to say after the game. Plus, the Macaulay boys basketball team made it to the state quarterfinal game tonight. We have highlights and more when we come back.
I don't like where our team's at. I don't, from a I don't like where our team's at. I don't, from a connected standpoint. And, you know, I think when you look around the country and you see teams that win championships, whatever championship, you got connected teams that are really pulling for each other to do something great. We were a connected team last year. you know, we were connected. We're not connected right now.
You would think with a heavy veteran class and 4 starters returning, that team chemistry wouldn't be an issue. According to head coach Matt McCall, though, that's not the case. Towards the back half of the season, UTC has struggled to regain momentum in games after already being down. And unfortunately for the Mocs seniors tonight, that was the problem yet again. After taking down Mercer in their last meeting, UTC was hoping to give seniors Justin Toyo, Casey Jones, Greg Pryor, Jonathan Burrows-Cook, and Trey McLean the send-off they deserve. But that was hardly the case. Mocs came out of the gate slow at first. Ryan Holland sinks the short jumper to put the Bears up by 2. McKinday London then helps get things started for the Mocs. Drains one from the top of the key. Then Greg Pryor almost loses the ball, but recovers it and dishes it off to Justin Toyo, who comes up with a clutch 3 in the corner. UTC led 23-17 over Mercer at the half, but the Mocs fall behind in the back half. Stephon Jelks with a wide open lane to the basket. UTC down by 4 with now 5 minutes left to play. Bears go up again, but this time Toyo counters with 2. Mocs down 57-52 with a minute left. UTC needs to get a shot off here, but nothing would fall for the Mocs. Chattanooga was just 4 for 24 from behind the arc and shot just 37% the whole game. In the end, Mercer would hold on to their second half lead, winning 64-54 over UTC.
Some of our guys don't have any idea how to respond when things don't go well. And it's going to catch up to them. Whether it's now, whether it's 5 years from now, 10 years from now, it's going to catch up to them, you know. And that's been our biggest issue, is our sensitivity and responding the right way when things don't go wrong.
UTC will now close out the regular season on the road at the Citadel Monday night before using the rest of the week to get ready for the SoCon tournament next weekend. Meanwhile, the Lady Mocs were crowned Southern Conference regular season champions today for the 5th year in a row. Now, granted, they did finish tied with Mercer for the title, but since UTC beat the Bears twice this season, the Lady Mocs earned that #1 seed for the tournament next week. Seniors Jasmine Joyner, Moses Johnson, Queen Alfred, and Cindy Van Landingham were the 4 Lady Mocs celebrated today for senior night. And well, let's just say Wofford wasn't invited to the party. Lady Mocs tied at 5 to start the game. Chelsea Schumpert with the pass down low to Ariana Gilbert for 2. UTC back in the lead. Then Schumpert gets the ball with plenty of time behind the arc, drains the 3 to put the Lady Mocs up by 4. Then it's the junior again, this time with the steal and layup on the other end. Chelsea would finish with 10 on the night. Lady Mocs led by 8 over the Terriers at halftime and did not let up after the break. The pass down low to senior Jasmine Joyner for 2. Joyner would finish with a game-high 19 points as UTC dominates Wofford 76-56.
It definitely got harder from being a freshman to senior now, but that kind of made us more together and just stepping up, being a leader. Season came by really fast. From the hard season, the hard schedule, it paid off. So we just got to continue to grow and get ready for next week.
On the prep beat now, the last Division II AA team left is now headed to the Final Four. The McCallie Blue Tornado punched their ticket to Nashville earlier this evening with a win over Pope John Paul II. And this one was all boys in blue from start to finish. McCallie led by as much as 15 in the first half. Senior Max Schulman sinks the three-pointer to put McCallie up 35-22 in the third. Then Schulman with the pass to junior Clay, who makes some nice moves on his way to the basket. McCallie now up by 13. Then Clay hits off the backboard, but junior Jay Gibson is there with a putback and 1. Blue Tornado doesn't stop there though. This time the kick out to Mac Hunt in the corner. He drains it from the other end for 3. McCallie goes on to win it easy over Pope John Paul 67-48.
We're going to Final Four. We're really excited. We being in the Final Four is a special thing in high school basketball. And what we did in the season is we prepared ourselves to play one game at home in the quarters, and we took advantage of that tonight.
Macaulay will next head to Nashville this week to play Bell Academy in the state semifinal this Thursday. Now, there were several other region tournament games played tonight in Tennessee. You can check out those scores on our website, WRCBTV.com. On the diamond now, the Lady Mocs softball team split their doubleheader for the second day of the Frost Classic tournament. In round one this afternoon, Lady Mocs fell to Western Michigan 4-2, but then turned it around in the second game and beat up on Tennessee Martin 6-3. The Lady Mocs will now wrap up the tournament first thing tomorrow, taking on St. Louis at 1:30. And lastly, how about one more score to throw at you? The Tennessee men's basketball team was on the road today at South Carolina. Had as much as luck as the Mocs did shooting-wise. Robert Hubbs III was the only Vol in double digits tonight as Tennessee goes down 82-55 against the Gamecocks. UT will now travel to LSU on Wednesday. All right, that's it for sports. One last look at your weather when we come back.
All right, welcome back. Nick's here, and Nick, we're going to have to start getting used to this cold, just for a little bit anyhow.
Yeah, especially tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
So here's your 7-day forecast. We'll be below freezing here in the city, in the 20s outside of town, and back to the 50s, though, for the afternoon. Some rain coming back next week, along with some warmer temps.
All right, thank you, Nick. Well, you've likely seen pro golfers on television shed their shoes and possibly some clothing to play a ball out of a water hazard, but you probably haven't seen this. This is golfer Sean Stepney, who stripped down to just his undershorts to play this shot at the Honda Classic yesterday. Yeah, I don't think anyone's ever seen that before. Stepney escaped the water and went on to cart a bogey on the par 4
He didn't want to get his clothes wet.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure, we'll go with that. I think that's it right there. All right, well, that's it for us. We'll see you tomorrow.
Can for the morning sports, can we just go ahead and do start with the sod off the top, all the way to Macaulay VO, no sod, all the way to Macaulay VO. So specifically C1 all the way to C7. Cool. Thanks, guys. You're awesome. Rock stars. Take these broken wings. Thanks, Nick. Take these broken wings. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Stand by.
I don't like where our team's at. I don't, from a connected standpoint. And, you know, I think when you look around the country and you see teams that win championships, whatever championship, you got connected teams that are really pulling for each other to do something great. We were a connected team last year. You know, we were connected. We're not connected right now.
You would think with a heavy veteran class and 4 starters returning that team chemistry wouldn't be an issue. According to head coach Matt McCall, though, that's not the case. Towards the back half of the season, UTC has struggled to regain momentum in games after already being down. And unfortunately for the Mock seniors last night, that was a problem yet again. After taking down Mercer in their last meeting, UTC was hoping to give seniors Justin Toyo, Casey Jones, Greg Pryor, Jonathan Burrows-Cook, and Trey McLean the send-off they deserve. But that was hardly the case. Mocks came out of the gates slow at first. Ryan Holland sinks the short jumper to put the Bears up by 2. Then McKinday London helps get things started for the Mocks, drains one from the top of the key. Greg Pryor almost loses the ball after that, but recovers it, dishes it off to Toyo, who comes up with the clutch 3 from the corner. UTC led 23-17 over Mercer at the half, but the Mocks fall behind in the back half. Stephon Jelks with a wide open lane to the basket. UTC down by 4, now with 5 minutes left to play. Bears go up again, but this time Toyo counters with 2. Mocks down 57-52 with a minute left to play. All UTC needs is to get a shot off here, but nothing would fall for the Mocks. Chattanooga was 4 of 24 from behind the arc and shot just 37% the whole game. In the end, Mercer would hold on to their second half lead, winning 64-54 over UTC.
Some of our guys don't have any idea how to respond when things don't go well. And it's going to catch up to them. Whether it's now, whether it's 5 years from now, 10 years from now, it's going to catch up to them, you know. And that's been our biggest issue, is our sensitivity and responding the right way when things don't go wrong.
UTC will now close out the regular season on the road at the Citadel Monday night before using the rest of the week to get ready for the SoCon tournament next weekend. Meanwhile, the Lady Mocks were crowned Southern Conference regular season champions yesterday for the 5th year in a row. Now, granted, they did finish tied with Mercer for the title, but since UTC beat the Bears twice this season, the Lady Mocks have earned that #1 seed for the tournament next week. Seniors Jasmine Joyner, Moses Johnson, Queen Alfred, and Cindy Van Landingham were the 4 Lady Mocs celebrated yesterday for senior night. And well, let's just say Wofford wasn't invited to the party. Lady Mocs tied at 5 to start the game. Chelsea Schumpert with the pass down low to Ariana Gilbert for 2. UTC back in the lead. Then Schumpert gets the ball with plenty of time behind the arc, drains the 3 to put the Lady Mocs up by 4. Then it's the junior again, this time with the steal and the layup on the other end. Schumpert would finish with 10 on the night. Lady Mocs led by 8 over the Terriers at the break and did not let up after that. The pass down low to senior Jasmine Joyner for 2. She would finish with a game-high 19 points as UTC dominates Wofford 76-56 that final.
It definitely got harder from being a freshman to senior now, but that kind of made us more together and just stepping up, being a leader. Season came by really fast. From the hard season, the hard schedule, it paid off. So we just got to continue to grow and get ready for next week.
On the prep beat now, the last Division II AA team left is now headed to the Final Four. The Macaulay Blue Tornado punched their ticket to Nashville last night with a win over Pope John Paul II, and this one was all boys in blue from start to finish. Macaulay led by as much as 15 in the first half. Senior Max Schulman sinks the three-pointer to put Macaulay up 35-22 in the third. Then Schulman with the pass to junior Clay, who makes some nice moves on his way to the basket. Macaulay now up 13. Then Clay hits off the backboard, but junior Jay Gibson is there.